when you're transitioning, most everybody's playing with 120 gram plus. If they got 300s in it, you're talking about 124 gram steel shaft. So we want to stay close to that in these. So these things are, again, they're based on a raw length of 38 inches. So you're going to be playing 110 gram plain length is probably 104, 105 grams. Swing speed here again is just, everybody's got wedges. It don't matter if they're 40 miles an hour or 130 miles an hour. These will fit any of those customers. Map price is $34.99, and I do not recommend tip trimming, although we've already had some folks doing it. If you got a guy that's still hitting it higher than what he wants to, you can do that. You can do a little tip trimming because it does have about a 4.5 inch parallel tip section. Okay, now we're ready. We'll take some questions.
All right, we have a question from Caleb. Do you spline any of these shafts and notice a difference? Any of the driver wood shafts is what he's referring to.
Mm-hmm. Splining, or puring, or whatever you want to call it, Kyle, we do in the factory, and we'll carry that a little bit later on too, but we do, we flow them in the factory, identify the neutral zone of the shaft, and we have that marked when you'll see a mark on the butt end of the shaft, and then we align the graphics so that they'll be painted at 12 o'clock. And you do see, yeah, absolutely. If you're profiling one of our shafts or anybody's shafts, I mean, you can, as you move it around, you'll see the oscillation increase or decrease depending on where it is.
Great. His follow-up is, why is the wedge force shaft recommended to not trim the tip?
It's pretty stiff as it is, and I mean we didn't do it. I think we've built in enough strength and firmness in that shaft that it doesn't need. That's the only reason.
All right, good.
We have had some people do it. Okay.
This is from John. I'm an amateur club maker for myself. For myself only. I have a swing speed with steel shaft on a 6-iron of 78, 79 miles per hour. Based on that, I have been advised to try a flex halfway between R and an S. I have experimented with the steel shaft, the Apollo Aculite, to try to emulate my store-bought graphites. I adjusted swing weight to match since this is a light steel shaft. This gives good distance and pattern, but feels stiff compared to the over-the-counter Callaway Fusion graphite. Looking at the DSFI rating of SK Fiber Tortrack 80, I see my swing speed at top of S-Flex. Am I understanding something wrong? And if that's complicated, I could unmute John if you wanted to have an actual conversation with him, which we haven't done that yet, if you wanted to do that, Charlie.
Oh, yeah, that is pretty complicated. Maybe we do need to talk a little later. Is that possible?
Did you want me to unmute him to see if he wants to speak directly with you right now?
Yeah, we can try that.
Okay, let me see if I can. And John may not even have a microphone, so I've never done this yet, so just 2 seconds here.
It
may be a lot easier to have the conversation and more, there he is. Yeah. Okay, John, can you hear us? Great. Do you mind asking your question or talking to Charlie direct, John?
Sure.
Hey, great, thank you.
Yeah, as I say, I'm an amateur club maker. I only make for myself. I haven't made that many clubs. I made one set for my son, and I've made some couple of drivers, and I'm playing around making things myself. So I'm fairly new at this. I tried to get the right flex for myself with 6-iron only, and somewhere between regular and stiff seems to have good distance and good pattern, but it just doesn't feel right. Looking at the swing speed on the Hireko site, it looks like my swing speed is at the top of stiff, which does not sound right. I'm 64 years old, I'm not 22. Am I understanding something wrong here, or?
No, I think, John, I think one of the things, I mean, it sounds like is your transition fairly smooth? I mean,
yeah, I think so. I think I'm positively accelerating.
I'd say, and so you're thinking you're probably in that 80 mile an hour, or 80, 90 mile an hour with a driver.
I'm around 90 with a driver. Yeah, I'm about probably 89 to 90 with a driver.
Yeah, see, again, that swing speed, I mean, I know that's used an awful lot, but I mean, it's a starting point. It is just someone just said it's just a starting reference to start with, but like with the Tour Track 80, if you took an R-Flex, I mean, what I would suggest is you build the R-Flex without tip trimming it, and build that 6-iron and see how that feels. If it did feel a little soft, which I don't know that it would, then you could easily take take a half an inch and firm it up a little bit. I mean, if you're hitting the ball really high, I mean, at least keep in mind that the torque range is on a Tour Track 80 is mid 3, so it's not real torquey, so it's not you're going to get some kick, and you should have a nice trajectory, not a low trajectory, but relatively high.
Right. Okay. That's something I can try. One other point, if I may, holding other people up. With the frequency analyzer, you are talking of using a 256 gram weight. What I have done is use the actual head I'm going to use. Do you believe that makes a difference? And the second question is that you mentioned puring the shaft, and when you adjust it, the way you position it in the analyzer makes a difference as well. What I do is to pure the shaft, find where the spline is, and I position that in the club facing the target. Well,
the second part of the question, I think there's club builders that do it they put it at 180 degrees, they put it at 6 o'clock, or they put it at 3 o'clock, or they put it at 9 o'clock. Personally, I mean, when we do it, we're doing it. We identify it, and we want to have the least amount of oscillation from that shaft, so that it's basically going straight up and down when it's twanged, whether you have a head on it, and the weight, the 256 gram that we use, we want that straight. A head on the end of it does give a little more because of the dispersion of the head, I guess, makes it go a little more crooked. But it's that's that question comes up all the time. The way that we build SK fiber shafts is to try to eliminate the majority of that oscillation.